Hi, we're the Solace family, and these are moments from our round the world trip with our 2 kids.
If you watched our last video, you know we rented a car while based in Dubai, and this is our day trip over to Oman. Good morning! We are up early-ish heading to Oman for the day. We are going to go to an area that's full of mountains and hopefully see a little bit of desert along the way. That's been Sienna's top request for our travels.
While being abroad, renting a car is one of our favorite things.
And when we were in Dubai, we realized we were actually really close to the Oman border. And you know me, I can't resist a detour, so we decided a day trip was the way to go. To reach Oman from Dubai, you can either drive 5 hours south through the desert to the mainland of Oman, or there is also a small section of Oman that's just about 3 hours northeast on the tip of the Arabian Peninsula, and it's a really popular trip for people who live in the Dubai area to take, so we thought, why not us?
To get to Oman, we have to head east out of Dubai and travel through 2 Emirates, Sharjah and Ras Al Khaimah.
We actually had a detour in mind for this last emirate. As you're driving to Oman, it turns out there is an abandoned seaside village from the 1960s along the way, aptly called Ghost Village on Google Maps.
Would you stop there? I don't know if that interests most travelers, but we definitely wanted to check it out. So we made it to the apparently abandoned village. And I guess some horror movies have been shot here. You can kind of see why. This town was abandoned in the 1960s, but it was home to a few thousand people. The reason they left is still kind of disputed, but you can still see the remnants of houses, schools, and a mosque. So this used to be a fishing village many years ago, but everybody left. And that was, I think, before oil was found. We're right along the coast. And now you can see there's just kind of the remnants of walls, houses. Some of them are a little bit more done. Okay, let's go find Mama.
I don't know. What do you see, Seneca?
I hear monsters.
Well, dang, I'm inclined to believe it is haunted because there's some beautiful property on the ocean back there and nobody wants to live here. It looks like modern day ruins. Not too far from.
Stay out of there. Seneca. This is definitely the Candyman bathroom. Seneca, get out of there.
What is Candyman?
He's a spooky guy.
That was a great pit stop in the Ghost Village, but before I get haunted, we need to get back on the road because I think we have about 2 more hours to go. Quick note, not all rental cars will let you take their car to Oman or out of the country, so make sure you found a rental car company that will let you do this. You've notified them that you're going to do so. Sometimes this involves an extra fee, and that you've paid the additional insurance to do so.
So, likely many people do this every day, but for us, we don't do this every day. So it just occurred to me that we're driving into Oman right now. We have our passports, our car is registered. We showed, we have our card and papers and everything that we need. So I think everything should be fine. As long as, oh wait, the only thing I can think of is we have a bunch of fruit in the car.
Ah, yeah, you're gonna have to eat all those apples right now.
Okay, well, we'll at least just have to declare them and then maybe give them up.
Watch out! Watch out!
Here, Seneca, I'll take the water.
Watch out! It's dirt!
Sure for the dirt.
We're not gonna run.
It's dirt!
We're not gonna run into the mountains, Seneca, don't worry.
Guys! It's dirt, guys! Watch out! It's dirt! It's dirt!
It's my Oman face. After about 2 hours of driving, you reach the Oman border, and make sure you reserve a little bit of time for this process. I think it took us an hour to cross because you have to go inside, get a visa, and then they also inspect your car.
And don't bring your drone. We didn't, but I'm glad that we didn't.
It's not allowed. I will say it's nice though at both checking out of the UAE where we had to pay an exit tax and entering Oman where we had to pay a visa fee. You could use your card for either. So that was nice. You didn't have to worry about having dirham from the UAE or using the ATM there to get Omani Royale.
Right. And
Sorry, I'm
the
driving.
view is gorgeous. Powerful place to be, the meeting point of two great earthly powers, the ocean and the mountains.
If there's a beach, I'll pull over.
It's so pretty. Salam! Welcome to Oman! Woohoo!
Wherever we're at, Seneca, if there are stones or sand or rocks, he will always build his own little mountain. Good job. I guess all you have to do is give a kid a pile of rocks. At how these mountains, the mountainside is at such an angle, it looks like it's just going to slide right into the ocean.
Not too long after we crossed over into Oman, as we're driving along the beautiful waterfront road, we come across these untouched sand dunes, and so there wasn't like an official area to pull over, but we did, and we just ended up playing in them for some time like a bunch of kids in a big sandbox. Where the mountains meet the desert, meet the sea. a bit, we hop back in the car and continue driving with the goal of ending at the tip of the peninsula in the town of Khasab.
This stretch of road leading from Dubai to Oman is one of the most beautiful stretches of road that we have ever driven on in our entire lives. It's defined by a 45-degree angle cliff and rock that smashes really just right up against the Arabian Sea. So you have sea, blue sea, and these gray, dark rocks.
Oh my goodness, the views here do not quit. I am so glad that we rented a car that could make it to Oman and drove over here today. One day is not going to be enough. I need to come back. Finally, after about 3 hours of driving, maybe a little bit more because we were driving slowly because we couldn't help but admire how beautiful it was, we make it to the tip of the peninsula to the town of Khasab, which is nestled in a beautiful valley.
Driving in Oman in Khasab, and I said, hey, look it, we have to go in. The mountains look absolutely gorgeous. The sun's just poking through. So we drove into Khasab and we came upon this most glorious sight. I got out of the car and it almost moved me to tears. It is so breathtaking and we just had to share it with you.
So glad we took this day trip today, and really we just need to come back to Oman because it's been just striking, and I'm sure there are many other beautiful places to see here.
After grabbing a quick bite to eat in Khasab, we were admiring the sun rays as they were poking over the top of the mountain peaks, and we realized that the sun was actually setting and pretty quickly, which is it's not a bad thing, but just as a rule of thumb, we try to reduce as much risk as we're traveling internationally as possible. And one of our rules is just that we don't want to be on the road in between towns after sunset. So we began to make our way back to Dubai.
We're gonna catch the sunset and really end this Oman day well. and beautiful and fun day trip to add onto your itinerary if you're in Dubai. But honestly, Oman is gorgeous in itself, and so we really want to make it back to see more of the country. But for now, we have to head back to Dubai because we're about to catch a flight and shift our travels from the continent of Asia to Africa.
We'll see you there.